What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dirty Degens. It's been a long 2 months, but I'm back. I'm here to kick the Bears out, and I'm taking the space back over. I've got tons of alpha. We've already made a ton of gains, but tonight I've got a good show for you. I hope you guys had a great holidays, a happy new year, and hey, we've got a little bit of pumping action going on this year, so I hope you're feeling pretty good. But like I said, I've got some alpha, so we got even more that we're going to talk about. There's a lot of uncertainty and chaos in the world right now. But fortunately for us, it's actually helping Bitcoin and crypto quite a bit. So hopefully that continues and we can catch a good 2026. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I know it has been quite a while, but we're back. Bitcoin's at 96K. It did just fall under 97. And actually, that's pretty good. Not too bad. I just did see this. We got 2.8 million Bitcoins left on exchange. Not bad. There was like 185,000 Bitcoins removed from exchanges in 2025, put us under that 3 million threshold. So we're starting to see a very sharp drop, which, hey, that's good. Can't complain about that. Obviously, a lot of institutional buying. I'm not going to bore you guys with a ton of Bitcoin stuff tonight. I've been gone far too long to talk about general Bitcoin news. I've got way too much lined up. So we'll move on from that. As you can see, I mean, look up here at the top. Look at all these tabs. Got a lot of shit to talk about. Oh, and also, of course, it's been 2 months. Cheers, my friends. We, of course, have a little bit of tequila. But bringing you back. So one thing that did happen today, and surprisingly, it didn't hit the market as hard as I would have expected if I would have known this was going to happen. So yesterday, the Genius bill was actually released so that people could read it, which is the big bill that everybody's saying is going to fix the crypto market and it's going to moon us. It's going to start the super cycle and everything like that, right? And no, nobody likes it because there is a ton of bad language in there. So just a couple hours ago, Coinbase, Brian Armstrong came out and he said they are withdrawing their support for the bill because no bill is better than that bill, because they want to basically make tokenized equities illegal. They want to invade your privacy. There's a slew of things. You know, it's the government being the government. So at least some people are standing up. But you know what? The government, they turn around and they say, guess what, guys? This bill's not for you. It's not supposed to strengthen the industry. But despite all of that, the bill, the next discussion around the bill is January 27th. It should say, yeah, I closed the tab. I had an article that said it, but it wasn't that important. But it's like January 27th will be the next meeting. Since everybody's pissed off about it, they're going to rewrite it a little bit and see if they can unruffle some feathers. Speaking of ruffle, in Russia, they're finally looking to make Bitcoin and crypto legal for everyday people, because currently you do have to be an accredited investor. Basically, in Russia, you have to be an ultra wealthy in order to get involved in Bitcoin and crypto, or you just break the law, which I'm sure a lot of people do. But hey, more people in the world that are able to get into Bitcoin and crypto. I don't care about the economic or political schematics of the whole situation. What I care about is Bitcoin and crypto opening up to a wider range of people. Ultimately, global adoption is what we need to push it further. We don't need regulation to push it further. We don't need corporate treasuries to push it further. What we need is global adoption, people to understand and not be afraid to get involved. So that opens up the door for that, and I'm bullish on that. So good stuff. Good stuff. And actually, Russia has been incredibly against it for quite a while now. I think that they've been quietly positioning is what they've been doing, which is why, they're finally letting people in. Oh, here it is. Yeah, the Coinbase. Yeah, I didn't close it, but I already talked about it. I think it says in here, yeah, January 27th will be the next meeting. So now it's delayed. January 27th. Cool. Also, some things in case you're living under a rock and you didn't notice, the ex-mayor of New York City launched a token because he wants to fix America, apparently, and fix New York, right? There's too many issues. And no, he's no longer a mayor, so his idea was a token would fix that. And it actually went insane. It went up to $500 million market cap, $580 million market cap, and then it did that. Let me let's make it so you can see, because I really want to make sure you can see what it did. It did that. So now actually his lawyer is putting out basically press releases saying that he didn't do what everybody is saying he did. Obviously, you guys have been around the space long enough and played in enough trenches and shitcoins with me to know exactly what happened. It went up to $580 million and the liquidity was removed. And then liquidity was reinserted and it went up a little bit. Surprisingly, it's still at like 60 mil or something like that. But hey, you know, you got politicians still scheming and scamming, or ex-politicians. He's getting called out in the airport and cussing people out and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy. I really don't know what to say about it. That's why I brought it up, because it's so freaking crazy. But also, I didn't even realize this happened today, which I think that might be a little bit bearish, the fact that I didn't realize it happened, because I spent all day watching the market and watching what's going on. And apparently SWE was down for 6 hours, which is interesting. It's actually really interesting, because if you think back to the numerous Cloudflare and AWS outages we've had recently, SWE never went down. But they went down today. They're still looking into why and everything like that. It was fully restored like 3 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago. Actually, it says 4:30 p.m. Eastern time right there. Yeah, it was like 2.5 hours ago. So I don't know exactly what took it down. They are supposed to be decentralized. It's not really supposed to be possible. But hey, here we are. They went down and they're back up. One thing else that's positive for the overall state of crypto, right, is Visa says stablecoin settlement volumes are surging. 4.5 billion now. Obviously, that pales in comparison to the 14.5 trillion that they're processing. But they are getting heavily involved with stablecoins and settlements, which is why we're seeing Ubit, which is actually backed by Tether, adding support for Phantom and Visa payments, which, hey, this is good. This is more of that global adoption that I was just talking about. You're going to have normies in Russia or in Europe or Canada, wherever. It doesn't really matter where they are, but they're going to be able to open up their Phantom and they're going to be able to settle transactions using their credit card. And hopefully, it's not as bad as using like MoonPay and stuff like that. So this is just the global adoption stuff. Now, some other things that you might have missed that you're actually here for that we'll talk about: memes, right? There has been a lot going on here. Just one that I want to talk about first that a little bit interesting, I guess. Maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't. Apparently, there's a bunch of big listings coming, but here we got PsyOp Anime. It went absolutely insane to $29 million. And that is because, guess what? What everybody says in crypto, Elon supported it. Finally. I'm so tired of people saying, when Elon supports, Jesus Christ. But no, Elon did. He changed his profile picture, or no, he followed them, and it just went parabolic. Now there's supposed to be a bunch of exchange listings running or coming, and they're panicking, trying to figure out what to do. So if you saw that jump up a ton and you're like, what the hell's going on there? That is exactly what happened. I'm not sure if I'm gambling this play here, but yeah, I'm not gambling this play. What I am going to gamble on more, though, is Clash. I've been telling you guys about Clash since $300,000 market cap. I know a lot of you probably do watch George, and that's great. I'm happy that you do. But I don't know how many of you are actually paying attention to the developments with Clash outside of the developments that are going on inside of your wallet with price action. Obviously, we all know that it's moved from 16 million to 40 million in the matter of like, what, a week? Pretty good stuff, right? That makes us all incredibly happy. But what if I told you it's going to get way, way better? I mean, extremely. We're talking flywheel prop, like good stuff. Obviously, Clash is still doing all the same things it has been doing. You've got 2 tournaments a week. George is streaming every night with it. He's going to go live probably when I end stream. So that's all good. But how it gets stronger is Clash picks. Clash picks, right? So now we're talking about a DApp, right? Now, what Clash Picks is it's a prediction market. Now, I know this sounds boring. Like, how does this matter? I'm going to get into all of that. Think about your Kalshi, your Poly market, and everything like that, right? Everybody's talking about it. Normies, they think that they know the world so well. That's why they can gamble on the things going on in the world, and they just know exactly what's going to happen. These are the type of bets or predictions that normies like to do. Me, not so much, but normies. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm going to get into it. So Clash Picks, what is Clash Picks? Like I already said, it is a prediction market. It's a simplified one, though. Currently on Polymarket and Kalshi, you can arbitrage, you can bet yes, you can bet no, all sorts of things. There is a slew of things that you can do. I would scroll through this thread for you guys, but I'm not going to do that because I already know all the freaking answers. So I'm just going to walk you through it. My life has been consumed by Clash Picks, but this is Clash Picks, and Clash Picks is going to be what takes Clash to $1 billion. You heard me right. Clash Picks is going to take Clash to $1 billion. I told you at 300K that stupid wedge was going to send Clash over 100x. It did exactly that. Now I'm telling you that Clash will be sent to $1 billion because of Clash Picks. Let me break it down. So this is the Clash Picks site here. You can see it all here. This is just the main page. We've got currently 6 different categories. You got Clash, crypto, finance, sports, tech, and world events. And they're all right there. You can sort through them. There are 2 different fund pools currently. So you can pay in P Clash, which is a free-to-play model, or currently you can pay in Clash, which is obviously a real token with an intrinsic value backed behind it. But P Clash is completely free, meaningless, whatever. You only use it on the platform. It resets every week. You go into this claim button here, and you get this nice screen here, and it tells you your multiplier and all sorts of stuff, right? And then you can claim. So I'm an admin, so I actually can claim again. It's kind of fun, right? I have 315. However, a normal user, you cannot have more than 125 Clash. Each week it resets on Sunday, you claim, boom, back to 125. Great. But you do get bonuses based off of NFTs that you hold, how much Clash you hold, etc. So if you look at the multipliers down here, if you hold 5K Clash, you get a 0.25x multiplier. If you hold 30K Clash, you get a 2x multiplier. If you hold 180K, you get 5x. 360K, 10x, 720K, 20x. Now, if you hold a tier 1 NFT, you get a 10x multiplier. If you hold a legendary NFT, you get 5x. Epic, 2x, rare, 0.25. Obviously, these 1x's that we're seeing here, that's a mistake. I've got to make sure that I actually tell the dev about that because that is a mistake. 1x would mean that it's exactly the same, so that doesn't make any freaking sense. But that's how that works. So by holding Clash, you get the chance to get more P Clash, right? And then you use your P Clash to bet in free markets. Now that sounds dumb. You have Clash, and why would you do that, right? Because there is currently only 2 forms of currency on Clash Picks. However, there's a plan to expand it, right? So George is looking at stablecoins, Solana, etc. But these pools, right? These pools. So currently, if you look at it, yesterday, prediction markets just between Polymarket and Kalshi, they did $701 million in volume in one day. This isn't a week, nothing like that. And these are people just betting on world events. Is Trump going to take over Greenland by 2027? I put $1 million on it. That's what they're doing. I think it's crazy, but hey, that's what they're doing. And that these paid pools, Clash will retain 0.5% of the fees. So how you have to look at it is if there's $1 million in value done on Clash Picks in real money every day, that is $50,000 a day that's going to Clash. Okay. I'm just going to keep it very blanket simple for you. $1 million, 50,000. Cool. Great. Then now you're a P Clash player. You're playing around. You're not playing with money. You're not actually making anything. Maybe you're getting a little bit bored. And then somebody tells you, hey, actually, there's a rev share model. Because if you are a top 5 P Clash player, you actually win some of those fees. The fees go back to the players, which is crazy. Look at Polymarket, look at Kalshi. Nobody does that, right? So now every week you have the top 5 people and they're getting paid out a fraction of the fees. Now what that fraction is going to be, I actually don't know for certain what that fraction will be. However, that is huge. Imagine Clash Picks is doing $50 million of volume a day. So then you take that 50,000, you 50x it, and that's what Clash is pulling in. So it's absolutely insane. This builds that flywheel model because then you're going to also incorporate buybacks into the token. You've got a community happy. They're bullish. They're buying Clash in order to bet on Clash Picks. I mean, it's just it's the perfect flywheel, right? And also, not only that, it is a extremely trending product in the world. Everybody's talking about Polymarket and Kalshi. I went and had a haircut today. And my barber has no idea about crypto, doesn't invest in stocks, doesn't know anything about anything. Literally, he's like, I'm stupid about all this. Guess what, though? He knew about Polymarket and he uses it because that is what normal people can do. However, he also was talking to me about how hard it is because there's arbitrage, there's yes, there's no. You can pick 8 different things, but there's 20 options. What the fuck do you do? That is what Clash Picks is going to solve, because now you can come in here. We're looking at silver's price by February 1st, 2026. You don't pick yes or no. You don't sell positions. You don't do all this nonsense that doesn't make sense when you're saying, I think that's going to happen. Right? So what you do is you come in and you say, oh, I think it's going to be over 80 bucks. Predict. Boom. Done. Easy. But you can also bet multiple times if you do want to hedge your bet. Hey, like maybe it could be this, but hey, in case it's this, I'm also gonna, throw a little bit over there, because obviously currently silver's at what, $92 or something like that. So everybody that's coming in here, they're betting it's going to be over $80 because they don't see it falling below that. So the multiplier currently is 1.02x. So it doesn't really make sense to bet really hard on it. Actually, it might not make sense at all to bet in this pool. But what you could do is you're like, oh, hey, it could crash back down to 75 and 80. So I'm going to put 100 in the above $80 pool, and I'll throw 10 bucks in 75 to 80 pool. That way, if it hits that, I make all my money back and some, right? Because you're going to get 113x on that 10 bucks. You'll make more than you would have made betting in the real pool that won, or that you think like that would win currently if we stop the market now, right? So it's simple. You don't have to, there's not like a gigabrain mentality that you have to figure out in order to use the platform, right? Super simple. That is the process. Something that everybody can use, and not something that somebody picks up, opens, and they're like, what the alien language am I looking at, right? That's the vision. So it's going to be absolutely massive. And there's so much to it that is coming that I can't talk about, because like I told you guys, when Clash first started, obviously I am still COO of Cryptos R Us. I'm heavily involved in Cryptos R Us. I do a multitude of things for Cryptos R Us. At the time when Clash first released, I didn't do a whole lot for Clash, but now I do a lot for Clash. I do a lot for Clash Picks. I do a good bit for Clash, but yeah, I'm still not saying any of this because I'm part of the team. It doesn't have anything to do with that at all. I see the vision and I see what's going to happen to it. I see that without any market makers, without any KOLs, without any liquidity injection, the chart recovered from 16 million back up to 40 million. The vision, the people, and everything is there. This sets it into motion, because there's already over 300 people using the platform, and it's not even live yet. Still in beta. We're telling people not to put money on it, like, because we're still going through the audit phase. Actually, I had 3 meetings today about the audit phase. Hopefully it goes live in February. However, I will tell everybody that if you do want to get into Clash Picks before then, and you want to start figuring it out, messing with it and everything like that, you're more than welcome to. All you got to do is go into my Telegram, which is it should be in the video description. I hope so. And just drop me your Solana wallet address. Use a burner. And just because we're still going through the audit phase, right? Use a burner, because you do have to connect a wallet. That way nothing bad happens. If God forbid the dev is malicious or whatever, we don't think he is, but you never know. It can't be too safe. So use a burner. You can come in, you can play with it. There's tons of markets. We're always adding more. Everybody wants the robe, and I'll bring the robe back. Honestly, guys, I was thinking about wearing the robe today. I just didn't feel like changing. I was being lazy. I was already dressed. Like, man, got to go undress. And then I've got somewhere I got to go after stream. So I'm like, I got to undress, put on the robe, stream, undress, put on the clothes, go somewhere, come back home, and then undress. Like, this is too much changing. I'm not doing it. But there's tons of markets in here. We're also looking for feedback and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, this is going to be absolutely insane of what it's going to do for Clash, because there are going to be buybacks that are going to be involved. Not only that, you think the prediction market is the end game? Not at all. There's so much more coming. So much more. I mean, every single day I'm talking to George and he's like, what if we did this? What if we did this? Like there's endless ideas and possibilities, and they're all going to benefit Clash. So if you already made your 1000x on Clash, very happy. I'm absolutely ecstatic for you. However, I'm telling you, there's still another over 100x to go. We're not done. We're not done at all. But I also have some other things that are not done. Now, this one I actually did talk about in my Telegram channel. Now, despite the fact that I have not streamed in 2 months, I did not actually disappear off the face of the planet. I know a lot of you guys here are actually in my Telegram, but I've been still active in my Telegram. Now, the reason why I've actually been gone for 2 months, I'll tell you guys. I actually adopted my youngest brother, so he lives with me now. He's actually 16. So I'm older than you guys think because I'm actually over double his age. But so yeah, but so he lives with me now, and he's in high school, obviously being 16, and he decided for the first time he wanted to join a sport, and that sport happened to be bowling. So he's got practice every night, several games a week, everything. Like I'm not even home most nights until like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So streaming just became really hard. But this week, actually, you know, bummer for him, good for me. This is the last week of bowling. So I'm back, baby. I'm back. We're going to hit the ground. We're running hard. And I'm telling you, we're going to make some crazy games because we're already making them, but I'm bringing them back to YouTube. So that's where I've been, and that's what I'm going to do. But this next one I want to talk about, this is actually a meme coin that is from before the person that told you about Bitcoin was in Bitcoin. Because when it first got popular, everybody wanted to mock it, right? Oh, it's the future of finance. Oh, digital currency. What kind of idiot are you? Like, it's all sorts of things, right? But it turned into something. And now it's turning into something again. It started a movement at first because Bitcoin, Buttcoin, right? You know, right? So here comes Buttcoin. Now, not here comes Buttcoin. You'll notice that this chart's only from January 9th, right? So obviously, this one is not from 2011, I think, actually. But before I break into it anymore, I did actually share this with my Telegram. I think I shared it like around like, what was it? I think it was like 2.5 mil, 2 mil, something like that. Something like that. I'm maybe it was a little bit higher even. But point is I said my thesis, why it was going to run, and it's running. The play is playing. Now, I'm not going to lie with you guys. I'm not saying that it's over when I say this, but I like to be transparent. I'm here because I want all of you to make money. Obviously, I don't make any money streaming. I don't care about that, but I do this for you. So I like to be transparent and tell you absolutely everything. That's what I do. But I entered when I told everybody else, and now I always tell you guys about stuff first, and then I enter. There's no front running. There's no dumping on each other. None of that shit. I don't play those games. If we do enough trading, I don't have to do that shit because we make good calls. I don't need to dump on you. I don't need to front run you. It doesn't matter because the calls are good. But so I dropped in a Telegram, told everybody about it, told everybody my thesis, and then I bought. But I did also say, hey, like when it hits 10x, I'm taking my initials out. So that actually happened today because I forgot to do it before. But when it hit 10 mil, actually, that's when I took my initials because whatever. But then I was like, no, actually, okay. So now I remember. I dropped it in my Telegram at 800K. And then at 8 million, I took initials. And then at 10 million, I did take, I think I trimmed like 20% or so of my bag. So I still have a very large bag that is riding. So I'm still in this. I have no plans to get out anytime soon. And let me explain why, because it gets bullish. So in this Reddit post is actually from 11 years ago, right? So we're talking 2015. And Buttcoin predates that. Here, Border Patrol is actually the guy behind Buttcoin. So this guy asks, I'm just curious about the history of the sub. I feel like people enjoy hating on overzealous, blah, 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 whatever. This is, notice you thought it was Bitcoin, but this is a Buttcoin sub. So he goes on to talk about how he made an intro post when the sub was born. The Buttcoin website came from basically Bitcoin becoming popular and people missaying it, right? Like, you know, Buttcoin or what, like people misspeak, you know, or they make fun of it or whatever. And actually it was a major news outlet that ended up doing it. And that's why he did it. So I don't want to read all of this to you because it's actually pretty boring. But basically, Bitcoin originated in like 2011. Basically, as soon as Bitcoin started gaining any form of traction whatsoever, before the Bitcoin Talk forums and everything. I'm talking about shit that you guys don't even know existed, right? Before anything that you are thinking of, literally. Like, I remember Bitcoin, but I was also heavily involved in shit like this. So it was kind of what I did. But I also sold everything and didn't make shit. Like, otherwise I'd be retired. I wouldn't be here streaming to you. I'm going to be honest. But yeah, so it didn't do it right. But it came around before bitcoin.org. It came around before Bitcoin Talk. And then it actually did become a meme coin. This X account also predates back to May 2011. No name changes, anything like that. It was a meme coin. It was launched in like 2013, 2014. It was the first meme coin that was ever actually launched. It did okay, and then it died and went nowhere. Now, there have been several other people in the past that have tried to like relaunch it and copy it, and redo the thesis, everything like that. But it's never worked because there's always been this Twitter account that has remained active, Bitcoin, and calls him out. Never gives his love, because this is still the same guy that did it in the very beginning. He never would show support, never give his love or anything like that. But something changed, because on January 10th, this is why I shared it, because I heard rumblings that this was happening. And I was like, oh shit, guys, this could actually be something. And that's why I shared it in Telegram, like 800K, this is a buy. Like, we're doing it. But so he goes, Barry Honors, creator, owner, CEO, CFO, CTO, and hot administrative assistant of the original Bitcoin meme, has never, he said have never, but it should be has never given my personal, I guess when you read it that way. But yeah, I, Barry Owens, creator, owner, CEO, CFO, CTO, and hot administrative assistant of the original Bitcoin meme, have never given my personal blessing to any coin or token or anything trading off the Bitcoin name until now. That is what matters. This will be the only one that has ever gotten my explicit approval, and the only one that will ever get my approval. Period. That is why this matters. Now, I know it sounds stupid still, like, but Josh, it's just a but. You forget about history, right? Because Bitcoin OGs know about Bitcoin. At one point in time, Bitcoin was nearly like I think it was like a top 20 token, right? It's old. It's really old. We're talking about like Namecoin and Peercoin and shit like that have been dead for many, many, many years, right? There's a true story and history and legacy behind Bitcoin, as stupid as that sounds. So whether or not Bitcoin tops here, I don't think it will, because there's a lot of pushing. I mean, plus look at the candles the last 8 hours, right? They're absolutely insane. But I mean, it could be $100 million run. It could be a very, very solid play. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It was like a guaranteed solid play, easy call when I saw it 800K and I dropped it in a Telegram. So I'm not as bullish now as I was then. But I still like the thesis. I still like the play. For me, at this point, I'd say it's a bit of a gamble, bar tab situation. Have some fun. Giggle about butts and shit, whatever you got to do, have a little fun. Now it can't just be all butts and clash and predictions and shit, because we all have our dream too, right? I see you guys in the chat here. We're talking about dream. So, or am I dreaming, or is he streaming, or streaming and dreaming? The people know, because again, I do actually have something for you guys that I haven't told any of you guys about yet, but this is another one that I have shared with everybody. And I've got a really freaking bullish thesis on this one too. I'm telling you, in 2026, you degenerates are going to print. We've already done, let's see, man, I think we've done already like 30 or so X this year. We're only 2 weeks in. We're just getting started, guys. We're going to print this year. Stick around here, hop in the Telegram, and we're going to print. But dream. Now, this one is basically at exactly where I called it. So that's cool. You're in luck. It did pop up a little bit, and then it came back down. But let me explain to you dream. And I'm incredibly bullish on dream. Chart doesn't look great. but it's still, guys, LOL is not the world's first meme coin. Buckcoin was the first real meme coin. I'm just going to be honest with you. But yeah, so Dream is, you'll notice if you look at this bit, it is on Solana, but it's paired with USD1. That's going to become incredibly important as we're talking about Dream. It's been out for a while, and it hasn't done a whole lot of anything crazy, right? It came up, basically died, going sideways, and then, hey, look, somebody caught somebody's attention. And you're going to understand who's in a bit. Currently, we have 974 holders, got 861K market cap, 113K of liquidity. So good stuff. This is a bonk.fund token. So liquidity is locked. Bonk.fund was the first one to have a launch pad that incorporated USD1 launching. So boom, that's where this was born. Doing pretty good. Not terrible, right? Especially when you look at the chart, like, hey, holding at 800K, not too shabby. But when we get into the story, it gets a little bit better. So when you go to the website, and actually, I think the website just came out like today or yesterday. Revolutionary new currency promises prosperity for all patriots. Market experts stunned by unprecedented community support. Community support is huge, especially for a token this size. It's pretty crazy. Very simple one-pager website. Actually, they screwed up. You don't have the contract address anywhere on here. That's a big miss. Luckily, I know these guys, so I can help fix that because yeah, it needs to be somewhere on here. It's literally nowhere. That's got to be fixed. But also, here we have their X community. There's no Telegram. There's no Discord. None of that boring bullshit. That's a pain in the ass to deal with. But yesterday they posted their thesis. So here they've got a big post explaining the American dream and everything like that. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. It goes back to the economist Larry Davis and his thesis, basically, about why younger people aren't doing what boomers have been doing their whole life, because there's no freaking money in it, right? They're not saving, they're spending, they're making risky plays, they're gambling, whatever, because they don't see the path forward, right? The American dream has been squandered. What our parents' dream was is not ours. It's not possible. You can't work a normal 9 to 5, make 50K a year, and actually come out on top. You're fucked. It's that simple. So we have to do something to fix that. What do we do to fix it? Well, we shitcoin. That's what I do. You know, I play with meme coins, and it's worked out well for me. It doesn't work out well for a lot of people, but that's the idea behind it, the thesis, right? We're bringing back the American dream. We're putting the power back into the people. We're giving people authority over their own finances, right? Where it's I need a drink. But no, I think it's a good dream. Now, I'm not trying to get political. This isn't about Trump or anything like that. Obviously, you see them all over the place. And the more I talk about this, the more you're going to think it is about Trump. But I'm going to tell you, I'm the least political person you've ever met. I give a fuck about any of it. Really could. So, Dream paired with USD1. It's about reestablishing financial freedom, American dream, boomers suck, etc. So, obviously, it's paired with USD1. That is the most critical part of this token. On January 2nd, World Liberty Financial posted that it is officially USD1 season. So to celebrate, they are going to activate a part of their strategic reserve to support builders, creators, and tokens that are strengthening the USD1 ecosystem, as well as shine a spotlight on those projects in the brightest way possible. And then I forgot to grab the post, but they also went through and said that they're also going to support meme coins too, with both liquidity and support. Now, what they say here, I'm hearing, you know, like in the background, I'm hearing that these liquidity injections are already happening. However, they're not telling anybody. It's supposed to be very slow, right? Now, at the time when this was announced, there were 3 meme coins that were backed with USD1. There is 1 head of Solana for World Liberty Finance. That happens to be this guy. Memecoins, head of Solana, World Liberty Finance. That's what he does. His job is to worry about World Liberty Finance's situation on Solana and how to improve the ecosystem over there, right? Because World Liberty Finance is multi-chain. So obviously you got to have somebody compartmentalized to pay attention. That is Melo's job. Well, Melo has been quite excited about everything that they're planning and doing for USD1 on Solana. Unfortunately, did I close them all out? I'm an idiot. I closed a bunch of them out, but I left up this one. It's an old one, but actually, if you do go through a bunch of his posts, and I'm hearing rumblings that he's been talking about Dream specifically, but there are many of his posts where he's like, my dream, or it's the season to dream, or, you know, and this one he's going, USD1 pairs are bringing back holding season. My dream is coming true. You've also got other USD1 people that are doing it as well. All the signs are there. Everybody is hinting towards it. And now you've got him talking about meme coins launched with USD1. Everything that is going on around Dream is very bullish for Dream. So my thesis is that they will be one of the tokens that World Liberty Finance is going to pick. So I'm I'm right. So I think that World Liberty Finance is currently injecting capital into Dream so that they can support it. Obviously, they don't want to support it and not have a bag, right? I mean, they're basically an influencer now, I guess. But hey, here we are. It's 2026, right? Happy New Year. You got a project front running you. But hey, that's what happens. They're not going to dump, though, because obviously that would kill them. But so my thesis is that Melo from World Liberty Finance is currently quietly loading up on Dream. There has been some large purchases, and there has been some wallets that also hold over $1 million in stablecoins that have been accumulating Dream. So I'm very bullish. I know a ton of you guys are holding it. I know that a couple other communities are holding it. And also I'm close with people that are close to the situation. So I am incredibly bullish on Dream. I am damn near as bullish on Dream as I was on Clash when I drew that wedge all the way over here at 300K market cap. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what else to tell you. But it's not all I got to talk about. Now, if you guys remember earlier this year when I was streaming a lot, multiple times a week, whatever, I was just in love with useless coin. Back down here, like 20 mil market cap. I'm like, guys, I love this. Like, it's going to go do great. And then it fucking dumped to like 4 mil. And you guys were like, Josh, you're an idiot. Guess what? I never sold. And I know we've talked about this numerous times, but that shit ran to 400 mil, right? And all this whole thesis was that it's useless. It does absolutely nothing. It never will do anything. Hey, guess what? We're going to launch something. It's going to do nothing. It's useless. Like, that was the entire play. Making a joke about how it's a meme coin and it is completely useless. So I've got another project that I've been watching for a few days that makes me feel the exact same way. Unfortunately, I didn't get any alpha on it because I would have loved to get in it earlier. And there we go. I would have loved to get in it earlier, but here we have nothing. And it makes me feel a whole lot like useless. I've been watching it since like it first got in my attention actually like mid-November, and then I got busy with Thanksgiving, and then I was like, oh shit, it's gonna die. And then I'm like, oh wait, let me watch it for a bit, and then it peaked. So I've been watching it the last couple of days to try and see where it's gonna bottom, and we can actually talk about it. Right. So now it's coming back up. I know this isn't sub 1 mil, but I'm telling you guys, could be another fucking useless, right? Like, we could have a 500 mil, 400 mil run out of nothing. And it's just that. If you think back to Dream, I was just talking about it. Actually, you know, nothing plays very much so on the hat of the same thing as Dream. So you got financial nihilism and boomers and the state of finances, you know, like basically this. Boomers buy all the houses. Average millennial turns 25 and the housing market's off. Like, you know, that's why everybody's turning to more skeptical and risky investments, right? Like, that's where the money is. If I put $1 million into Google, in 20 years, I'll probably have $1,050,000. Like, I'm not going to make a whole lot of money. So, however, you know, at 300K market cap, I put $100 into Clash and it runs to 80 million. All of a sudden I made $1 million. That is the American dream, right? That fixes my boomer problem. All of a sudden the houses aren't so expensive. So nothing kind of thrives on the same theory or thesis as useless, or not as useless, but kind of, but as dream and so on. And I think that's good. Currently, there's 6,200 holders. I did look, there's a bit of dusting going on there, but it doesn't look bad. It's not crazy. It's not dusting like I've seen other projects do. I've seen them dust it to 80,000, right? It's crazy. But there's a strong community. You got, hey, look, and I know a couple people that are following it. But also you got 2,800 followers. You'll own nothing. There's nothing as a profile picture. You've got nothing. I mean, it's the same thing as useless, guys. If we go back and we look, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same team either. I mean, I don't actually know, but I wouldn't be surprised. A useless bio for a useless coin. We told you didn't listen. Crypto's useless. We're in a useless market. It's the same thing, guys. It's literally the same thing. You never get anything. You get nothing. I have nothing to lose. Wrote a script on the New World by owning nothing. Like, it's the same thing. I'm seeing the exact same thing. The only thing that's different is the chart doesn't look as bad in the beginning as useless did. It looks better. So that's the only difference. And the other difference is that almost every single fucking meme coin in the market right now is pure garbage. So here we've got something solid that could be a runner. My theory is that I love the idea of people making a joke out of and actually liking the idea that meme coins are exactly what they're supposed to be. Nothing. They're not supposed to provide value. As soon as they start providing value and start providing utility and offering you something, it's not a meme coin, right? Now it's like a community token. Like, think about Clash. It started off as a meme coin. Now it's not a meme coin. Now it's got a prediction market. It's not a meme coin anymore. It's a community token with actual use. Like, but when you have useless and you have nothing, they play on the idea of what a meme coin truly is, and they harness that, right? They truly, to its core, do that. They grasp it and just don't let it go. And when I see that over and over as I scroll through 1,400 posts, and I look at how the admins are handling it and how the community is responding to it, they're not saying, hey guys, when are we going to have some NFTs? Instead, no, they're making jokes about how they have nothing. Like, that is the vibe that you want to see in something like this. Useless didn't do NFTs. Useless didn't pay a bunch of KOLs. Useless didn't do a big ass marketing campaign. No, they got people excited and involved because they made a joke about what a meme coin actually is. And it mooned. And we were right. We made a ton of freaking money. Now we're going to do it again. That's all I got for you guys tonight, guys. I will stick around, though, for a bit. Let's hang out for a little while. Went on for 43 minutes. I wasn't sure if I was still going to know how to do this shit. But I appreciate you guys. We peaked. I saw there was like 20 people in here. You know, that's not too bad after being gone for over 2 months. So I appreciate all of you guys that showed up. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas, Happy New Year. Drop them on me. I'm going to read the chat, see what I missed. Let's have some fun. Also, guys, I won't be going live tomorrow, but I will be going live on Friday. Next week, I'm going to basically go back probably to a full schedule. We're hitting the ground running. I'm telling you, 2026 is going to be absolutely huge. We're not stopping. We're going to continue to win. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Like, we're just going to continue to win. There's been other winners I've dropped in the Telegram too. So we're not stopping. We're just going to keep going. But let's see here. Yeah, I've never heard. I feel like I've heard of LOL because I remember looking at it and it was claiming it was the first meme coin. I'm like, you're not. So yeah, that's what I think. Boomers think they were successful because they worked harder and were smarter than generations after. I can't stand that. They could win a house at a carnival back then. Real talk, dude. You could buy a car for $2,000. Now you can buy a car for 50 grand. Like, it's totally different. It's not the same world. And the thing is too, that $2,000 car actually would work and they still run today. And they're easier to fix. You know, the world was a totally different place. Trump family history of meme coins is terrible. Launching, yeah, no, that was terrible. The only thing that could possibly kill my thesis for Dream is this, God forbid, for some stupid reason, one of the Trumps decide to support it. If that happens, it basically kills my whole thesis. I don't want the Trumps involved with it whatsoever. It's almost it's basically perfect that it's on World Liberty Financial. And it's perfect that it's paired with the stablecoin. But if it gets any closer to the Trumps, I don't like it anymore. I don't really, I mean, it's not about Trump. It's not about that. It's about the history they have with meme coins. I don't want them involved. So that's basically it. Nothing makes Josh feel something. I do. Let's see. I like that. Yeah, that wasn't to me. Got Revolution. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Thank you, man. I love you. Appreciate you. Take care, Skipping Stones. Appreciate you tuning in. Any Bitcoin Cash alpha? Bitcoin Cash about to be. Bitcoin Cash already got flipped by the only real privacy token. No, Bitcoin Cash is garbage. Chester's just trying to rile me up. And they made $1.35 an hour. Yeah, I know, right? That's insane. It's absolutely crazy. Man, guys, like honestly, taking 2 months off, I was crazy busy. I was busier than when I was streaming, but like kind of missed out on all the shitty part of the market, huh? At the end of the year, kind of did me a favor. I would have been sitting here and trying to stop the sky from falling every single day. That would have sucked. But that had nothing to do with it. So, yeah. Man, Buckcoin's retracing. If Buckcoin comes back down towards like 8 mil or so, I'd probably think it's a good entry. I like that level. I mean, I'm not even showing my screen, but I do like that level. We've got a little bit of, that's like our next support line. Like, you know, we go like right there, boom. But I'd even take it a little bit lower and drop it to this wick here. Oh crap, I gotta delete this one first. I'd even take it a little bit lower though. I would drop it to like this wick. Yeah, like right there. That's where the next support is. You know, you got the bottom of that candle, body of that candle, that wick there. That's our next support. So yeah, it's gonna fall back down there. Yesterday, it already broke 8 million, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to take profits. So I even dropped a message in a Telegram like, hey guys, Buckcoin's ripping and I forgot to take profits. What I'm doing is I'm setting a limit sell at 8 mil for my order, blah, 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 whatever. It's going to do this. Everything that rips comes back down to a support level. It just does. I mean, look at Clash. It did the exact same thing. Here was like its support right up here, you know, and it ripped and it came back down to it. It's just how it works. More often than not. So what happens? Dream though. I feel like Dream is going to be insane. I wish I saved the wallet that there was 3 wallets that had over $1 million in stablecoins that was accumulating Dream. It's the shit that legends are made of, man. You know, I know that a lot of you guys are holding a ton of Dream. So this is going to be a good one. When this runs, talking like Clash level gains here, guys. It's going to be a good one. And I'm definitely bullish on it here at this level. I'm angry that I was so dang busy yesterday. I couldn't catch it down towards that 550, 500K level. That would have been sweet. At $1.35 when your currency was backed by precious metals. Yeah. Crazy. Super crazy. Yeah. Especially the run on silver. You know, I try not to. That's one of the things I want to change about these streams going forward. For a bit there, towards the end of the year last year, or the end of my streams before I took the break there for a couple months, I started to bring in a lot more Bitcoin and major altcoins and stuff like that. And honestly, I just don't think that's why you guys are here. If you guys want that shit, you'll go to George or I don't know, God forbid, Banter, or, you know, there's a slew of other channels that are way more popular than me. So I'm going to be more meme coin focused. Whether it's trash or it's not, I'm going to be meme coin focused. So that's what we're going to do. I'll cover general things that are important, but I'm not going to do these huge segments breaking down Avalanche and Sui and all this other shit and Solana anymore, and big updates and 20-minute streams about things that you guys are hearing from literally everybody else. Instead, we're just going to talk about the shit that I like, which is shit coins. and making 200x gains because that's fucking fun. Like, there's nothing more fun than taking $80 and turning it into six figures. You know, like that's what I live for. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm in crypto. And actually, every year since I've been in crypto, I've managed to do that. So let's go. We're going to do it more this year too. I'm so bullish about this year, guys. I'm so bullish. The more and more it goes on, I'm just getting more and more bullish. It's not because of the wars in Iran or the wars in Minnesota, you know, any of this crap. It has nothing to do with Trump starting a war with the Fed. I'm just bullish because I don't know. I feel like crypto's there's gonna be some plays. We're gonna make some money, which is great because guess what? I think after this cycle, those opportunities are going to kind of go away. Not go away entirely, but you're not going to find the same opportunities, especially after Trump leaves office. You know, I've been saying it for a while. I've talked to a lot of people in person about it too. Surprisingly, he's not actually in here, but I've talked to a few people about this, but I've been saying it since like October or so, maybe November, that Trump's goal is to break the economy, send markets, look like a freaking genius, and it's the next president's problem. So what's going to happen is Trump's going to do absolutely everything in his power to completely send the markets vertical. That's why he's telling Powell to send rates to zero. So he's going to do everything he can to do that. Markets are going to go parabolic. And then the next president's going to come in. The economy is going to be fucked. Fraud will probably be rampant. You'll have people committing more meme coin fraud and all sorts of shit. And they're going to come in and crack down on everything. And then everything's going to change. You know, all these bills that or like, you know, the investigations that are being dropped and everything are going to come right back. That's what I think is going to happen. So I do think that cycles are kind of dead, but I also think that the next couple of years are the last chance for criminal gains in crypto. The true generational changing gains will be done. So that's what I think. I mean, there'll be the outliers too. There's no reason why you can't find something at 80K market cap and over the like course of time, it goes up to millions and billions of dollars or whatever. But I don't think we'll see crime season like we see it now. So that's my opinion anyways. That is what Trump's doing. And it's actually, I've been right the whole time. It just continues to happen. But there's been many people that I've talked to about it that will say that I talked to him about it and told him that's why I thought it was going to happen. Cliff says, I made more in memes than I have blue chip cryptos. All thanks to Josh. You know, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. Guys, I don't do this for me. You know, I do this. I stream just to share the shit I see and share information I get with you guys. I want you guys to make money because I also think that the American dream was squandered and shat all over and that without an edge, we're all fucked. So that's why I stream, because I do get edges in the market. Fortunate, I do. But because I make good relationships with people, I treat people well. I also help people. And not only that, I work for George. You know, I'm in contact with many, many, many people in the space. So I hear a lot of things. And I feel like so many people just hold that to themselves. And so many people have the ability to share that with you guys. But nobody actually wants to help everybody. I do. You know, I'm not saying I'm the best person in the world. Every homeless person I walk by, I give them $100 and a bag of food, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not perfect. But if I could change your guys' life, make life a little bit easier, you know, maybe help you afford Christmas or whatever it may be. Or, hey, maybe you make six figures from $80. Then I did my job in crypto. That's literally all that matters is you guys make money. I'm going to tell you every single project that I talk to you guys about that I say I'm bullish on, I buy too. You know, when it goes to zero, it went to zero for me too. There was a coin earlier that I bought and I even told it, I talked about it in the Telegram too. I was like, hey, this is risky alpha, but like I'm getting the alpha and I'm playing it. And I played it and it's probably at freaking zero now. It was basically there. But I'm honest. When I get good alpha and I think it could play, I share it. That's really all I can do. And hey, if they're hitting, let's go. We're gonna fucking print. On that note, guys, I appreciate you all tuning in tonight. I had a wonderful time. This is one of my favorite streams. Nice and relaxing. I got some chill music in the background, vibing a little bit. Got the squad here. Dirty Degens are back. I'm going to be back on Friday. You guys have yourself a wonderful night. Join the Telegram. Let me know if you want to be into the Clash Picks closed beta. When it goes live, there will be, I'm already planning on doing a large giveaway for that. Like I said, there is the multipliers for Clash Picks, and I'm planning on setting some people up with multipliers for Clash Picks. So if you want to get involved with that, make sure you tune in Friday. Otherwise, guys, have the great rest of your night, great rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.